are listening to the Awaken Superhuman podcast, the show that delivers the insights and strategies into living above being human. We are in an era of superhumans, and your superpowers are needed to manifest a cosmic destiny. My name is Emily, the Angel Coach, your host, an internationally recognized intuitive coach, teacher, and thought leader. I've worked with celebrities, CEOs, influencers, and individuals of varying ages and backgrounds. Join me as we reveal the how into awakening your superhuman so that you can more easily design a life of clarity, purpose, and delicious fulfillment. It is time for us to rise, create, and manifest a cosmic destiny. Hello, happy day today. I'm having a moment brain fart. I'm not sure of the day. We are so grateful to be here. I am so excited that I get to share guidance and support as guidance comes through. Today, we're calling it an open mic because it's really about just me being here, present, and sharing as the guidance comes through. And in meditation and preparation, pretty much the angels kept showing me just really the passion that I have about the kids. So I am going to start with that there is, so thank you, that there are children among us. And I say there's the kids are among us. And a lot of times, of course, our brain naturally and organically goes into, we think of kids and children. And yes, the dynamic of it is mostly kids, but understanding that a lot of the kids are also us now, adults here in these physical bodies in our 30s, 20s, 40s, 50s. Like we range, when it comes to the physical age, it ranges. And the reason I want to talk about this, because it's been my adventure since I was a little girl. So I know I've shared this before, but I get to dive into it a little bit more today and why it's so important and of such significance. Since I was a little girl, I can celebrate and share that I have been guided by the voice, the guidance, the love, the presence that I call God, divine source, creator, all that is love and light and good. And it's been speaking to me and sharing with me and talking to me and letting me know that I wasn't walking this earth, this plane, this reality by myself, that it was very much present, guiding me. And I say this because I know it's not just me, it's all of us. And depending on the dynamics of our life, the dynamic of how we were brought up, how we were raised, the things that were happening in our home, there was parts of our brains that could have shut off. And I know that some of you who are listening to me understand what I'm talking about, meaning like you still hear the voice, you still have these conversations, you've had the experiences since a child. Some of you may have had it and then it's closed off, and some of you just don't remember, and that's okay. But in the life that I've walked in, and the reason I've walked it this way is because it is part of my purpose. It's part of who and what I am, is to be of service and help us remember that we're more than human, that we're more than this physicality, we're more than what we can see, we're more than what we can touch, that we are more. And I get to move into places and spaces that allow me to be of service and really a reflection of remembrance for all of us to know who and what we really are. So since a little girl, I've been getting guided by the angels, by what I call manifestations of love. They've actually asked me to call them manifestations of love. And it's supported me my whole life. It guided me when my parents were going to get a divorce. It would guide me when I would meet people and they needed just extra love. They would share with me what to say, what to do to help people who were struggling in different matters, especially when it involved mental, emotional, and physical pain. And it was a voice that guided me. It would help me to understand things that were part of my catecismo, which is, I'm not sure how to say it in English, but it's when I would go to Catholic school and I would learn about the Bible and of God and different things. And I'm very grateful that the dynamics of my life included individuals that would encourage me. I remember in my classes when I was studying the Bible as a little girl, I would say, well, I'm not hearing that. I would go ahead and say to the teacher who was teaching us about the Bible and the verse, and I'd be like, well, I'm actually hearing God say this instead. And instead of her shunning me or telling me that was wrong, she'd be like, that's amazing. Make sure you continue listening to God. And that was my whole life. I would be shown things to avoid, things to move forward with, things, as I said, to say. I remember even situations that would help me to literally stay away from certain people out of protection. And with this gift, there's also been a lot of I would say pain. I shared about this a few days ago with a loved one of mine, that I've been seeing things happening in our world from a very young age that many of us could consider dark and injustice. And a lot of times I would find myself in rooms, literally in rooms. I'm going to share a little bit of what I mean by that. I'd be playing around with my brother. I'd be talking to someone. I'd be doing something outside as a little girl. I'd be in my room. I'd be laying in bed. And all of a sudden, like that, flash, I'd be somewhere else. And I would find myself in moments and rooms and things that I was like, where am I? Like, I literally, my whole reality would shift and I'd be somewhere else. Makes me think of the Matrix, the whole idea of like, literally, I would show up somewhere else and I'd be guided. And at times I would just be sitting with another child who was part of what we can call now, or what we've come to identify as human trafficking. Like, I've had moments where, as a little girl, and it still happens now, where I'm in rooms with these kids, I'm in room with these adults, not just women, but all sorts. Like, I've seen all sorts of stuff. And I'm taken there for me to just hold a hand, for me to just talk to them, for me to just witness what was happening. And literally the voice would say, let them know they're not alone. And these kids would see me. They would see me, even though I knew very well that there was a part of me that wasn't there, right? That there was more energetic. I've had experiences in which catastrophes have happened, and I find myself there and I'm holding someone's hand. It's as if I'm playing a role of an earth angel or a presence of love, letting them know that they're being seen and they're being prayed for and that they're being taken care of. And I know that seems very extreme, but it's been my reality. It's been what I've come to celebrate as normal at times. And I have to share that it's also why I'm here. So the reason I bring this up is because in the dynamic of the different things that I've seen that have been extreme, which again have caused a lot of pain here in our collective, and is part of why so many of us kids are coming now, is to shift the dynamic of this reality. We're answered prayers. You are an answered prayer. I am an answered prayer. All of us are answered prayers to the changes that we are inviting, not just personally, but family-wise, generational-wise, collective-wise. We're answered prayers. And what would happen through these experiences, I'd be shown many different things. And then the voice would always say, you're part of the solution. You're part of what's here to help. And in this beautiful acknowledgement and invitation is that sometimes we can get very caught up, and I do this. I'm going to literally share what I've learned, is that idea that I get so caught up, and I used to get very caught up, like, okay, well, if I'm here to help with this, I'm not doing enough. And I would feel this, like, I know I'm here to do more. I know I'm here to support more. I'm here designed to do all this. And I would get this sense of frustration. And then they would remind me that the path into purpose, the path into why you're here, the path into being part of this movement, the path of helping not just yourself, but others, is to bring yourself home, to bring yourself into alignment, to bring yourself into peace, to bring yourself into the capacity that allows you to be the vehicle that allows this love to move through you, to be embodied through you. And again, as a little girl, I would have all these different visions and experiences, and it was all with the same theme and concept that we get to be vehicles when we just allow ourselves to be in the presence of that light and that love, and just be that presence of light and love. And understanding that there's multiple parts of us that go beyond this physicality, that get to bless and touch people beyond the physical form that is you and beyond the physical form that is me. And in this beautiful experience that happened throughout my life, I would get to witness what would unfold with our collective when more of us stepped into our alignment, when more of us stepped into healing that was not just blessing us, but blessing the generations behind us and ahead of us. I would get to see what would happen, and there'd be these things that I call them waves. They come through the collective, they come through the field, they come through the earth. It's the best way I could explain it. And it literally looks like distorted, like energy. And the voice would say, you just jumped a timeline. Collectively, we've all jumped a timeline. And what they were saying is that the reality that I was in, the reality that I was experiencing, was shifting into a new upgraded timeline in which more love was present, in which more infinite possibilities were present, in which more can be served to experience more of that well-being that we call well-being. And it happened multiple times. And The reason I'm bringing this up, and again, part of why I say it's an open mic, I'm just speaking as guidance is coming through, is that again, we are at a pivotal time of a great reset. We're at a time of a great reset. And it's an opportunity for us to remember even more of why we came into this world and into this earth at this time. Because we're going to be delivering more, because we are going to be sharing more, because we're going to be helping more of bringing harmony to what we can identify as chaos. And I think at times what's challenging is that what I've come to realize about this infinite love, God, source, creator, whatever you want to call it, that there is really a presence that says, I love no matter what. I love you. I love this. I love all of it, no matter what. But it's reminding us that we ultimately have the ability to decide what we choose to cultivate. That our emotional guiding system has been given to us for us to identify when we are tapped in, tapped on, and when we're not. But that this great force doesn't look at you and be like, oh, shame, shame. You're off now. You're off again. You're on the wrong path. No, it just says, I love you. You are loved. You're loved regardless of what it is you choose to lean into or not lean into. You're loved. Thank you. And that most importantly, they're audibly saying is that we are actually celebrated, that we said yes to be here at this time. We're celebrated. Because whether you recognize it or I recognize it or not, we came at a time in which we were just needed. And the fact that we said yes, we've already are part of the contribution in helping to shift some of the consciousness and things happening in our world that are going to bring us more into a place of witnessing more freedom, more harmony, more love, more alignment with our true consciousness, in which we get to come home, not just mentally and emotionally, but energetically as well, in ways that help the physicality, not just the physicality that is your human, but the physicality that is the human reality that we're in, shift into a place in which more can be served through love. And it's exciting because I'm getting to see more than ever, more people have experiences. And again, we're part of a big movement. And even if people have forgotten who and what they are, more people are having experiences in which they can't explain it. Because there is this movement that's happening also in our reality that is helping our brain access more information and more data and more technology that's connected with the soul. So it's a very beautiful time again of a great reset, because the dynamics of things that were part of our past that had us in slumber, that had us numbing, have shifted drastically in such a way that now we get to remember and really own and understand who and what we are beyond what we've seen before. So as you continue to lean in or not, because it's really up to you, is that I am inviting you to invite it, to invite the witnessing of the great reset within your life in such a way that allows you to experience physically and tangibly more the harmony, to bring the people, the intersections, the connections, the opportunities that will help you to come home to thyself, to come home in such a way that will have you experience the blessings, the gift of why you chose to be here at this time. Because as we do that, again, we, the kids, impact not just the totality that is in this physical body, but the totality that is all of us. And in our coming home, we become part of the contribution, part of the purpose that allows this reality to move into harmony in a more impactful way. And it's exciting. You know, one of the things that the angels would share with me when I was very young, and still today, by the way, still today, is that we really came into this life to experience more deliciousness, more fulfillment, more joy, more connection. And we've allowed ourselves to get distracted and bogged down with these stories that life has to be busy and at times, thank you, emotionally wasteful, because we get so caught up in these stories inside our heads and other things that are just not allowing us to experience the yumminess of why we said yes to this time. So as you go through your days, as you go through your week, just incorporating this invitation that you're saying yes to witnessing the joy, the excitement, the beauty of what it is that had you say yes to this lifetime. Because there is a reset that's unfolding for all of us. We can't stop it, but it's unfolding for all of us so that we can again experience more. Thank you. And they're showing me it's like even our brains are being upgraded and changed and modified in a beautiful way. And I know there's many different things that can be said about this, but upgraded in a beautiful way so that we can once again be part of the movement in a tangible way, not just because we're bringing ourselves home into harmony, into peace, but because we're getting a chance to bring others along the way as we do it ourselves and for ourselves. All right, loves, have an amazing day. So grateful and excited I get to share here with all of you. Bye.
You are listening to the Awaken Superhuman podcast, the show that delivers the insights and strategies into living above being human. We are in an era of superhumans, and your superpowers are needed to manifest a cosmic destiny. My name is Emily, the Angel Coach, your host, an internationally recognized intuitive coach, teacher, and thought leader. I've worked with celebrities, CEOs, influencers, and individuals of varying ages and backgrounds. Join me as we reveal the how into awakening your superhuman so that you can more easily design a life of clarity, purpose, and delicious fulfillment. It is time for us to rise, create, and manifest a cosmic destiny.